I want to make a video here on building relationships. And there's a specific story I want to talk about in my life that talks about the importance, that reiterates, I guess, the importance of building relationships. So a couple weeks ago, I was traveling with my oldest two kids. I have 7 kids. My oldest two, 12 and 14, went with me we flew into Seattle, hung out for the day, drove down to Portland where my family is. I have some family that moved out there, hung out with them for close to a week, and then drove back up to Seattle, flew back. But when we were getting into the Portland area, they don't live in Portland, but close to it. As we're getting into that area, my wife calls me, and it's about midnight here at home, about 9 o'clock their time, and she calls me and says, "Hey, we're all in the bathroom, in the middle bathroom where there's no windows. We heard tornado sirens going off, heard reports of a tornado close by, so we're all hanging out in here." And again, at midnight, she's carrying five kids in there because the others, even the ones that can walk and everything, they're asleep. So she's trying to get all of them in there real quick. But the point to that is that I had a few things happen during that time. I had our small group from church. Most of them were on a chat talking, "Hey, everybody doing okay? How's everybody doing? Tornado hit. What's going on? Does anybody need help? Whatever." And I will say there were a couple families that were asleep. That we have a family that lives a bit north of us, family that lives a bit south of us, and of course they weren't in the path of the tornado, so no issues. And naturally, they don't know anything's happening, so they're in bed. Because at the time everybody went to bed, I don't think that anybody was expecting the tornado. So, so there's that. But then I have two other guys that live fairly close to me that my wife and I have become friends with their families, and they're texting me as well saying, "Hey, tornado just went through. I think you're traveling. Everything okay at home? Mindy, you doing okay?" And of course I was driving at the first part of this and didn't text back immediately. Didn't even check my text for a few minutes there until my wife started calling. But so they're texting my wife as well saying, "Hey, Mindy, I know Brian's out of town. You guys doing okay? Everything all right? Any damage from the tornado or has whatever?" So the importance of building relationships is while I'm gone, while I'm out of town, I have other family members, other friends, and of course my family was also on the phone with my wife at the same time because they're just a few minutes away. So I have family members, I have friends, we have our small group, everybody checking in. How's everybody doing? Who needs help? What's going on? And at the same time, we ended up having no damage to our house. Not even a piece of siding came off, even though the tornado was about 2 miles away. Crazy wind the whole night, everything. So other people in our small group had a little more damage. Nothing too bad. There were lots of houses and even some warehouses that just demolished. But nobody that I was real close with had that happen. But someone else in our small group had power outage for 2 days. They were out of power, and so I call my buddy, the guy in the small group from out in Washington, and this is just to be clear, it's Portland area, but they were barely inside of Washington. So just so I don't get comments in here saying what an idiot thinking Portland is in Washington. So call my buddy from back home, say, "Hey, is your power still out? I have a generator. Our power's on. Everything's fine. So go get my generator if you need to." Weather was still kind of chilly, so I said, I have a heater, propane heater, if you want to get that, just so your house doesn't get too cold. Ended up, he didn't need it. He had other resources he could go to, other places that he could borrow these things from. But the point is that we were there for each other. And one, again, was our small group. Our small group is like a family. We have set up, we have a meal once a week. And then we do some sort of Bible study. But the point is we're doing fellowship. We become a close-knit family that we are all there ready to help each other. Again, I'm not trying to point out the couple families that were asleep because the tornado wasn't there. If they knew a tornado was coming through, guarantee they would have been up, texting everybody. Everything would have been fine. But so definitely not calling people out for that. But then I also had two friends that were within that area knowing something was going on that are texting me, texting my wife, saying, "Hey, you're a little closer to the tornado. You guys okay? Anybody need to come stay at our house?" Whatever, they're there for help. And one of the guys especially is always, every time he knows I'm traveling, tell me, "You guys need anything, let me know. If my wife's with me, if I need to stop by the house, do anything." And they have sometimes. Need to stop by the house, do anything, great. If not, whatever. Just let me know if you need anything. If I'm gone, my wife's still at home. Hey, your wife need to come out here for anything at all. You guys need anything. My wife and I are here to help. We will do what is needed. And building those friendships, I can tell you, is worth more than money. I'm not saying money isn't important. I'm not saying you don't need money to survive, but I will say building those relationships is better and is more important than the money. This is a side note, but it is on the same topic. My wife and I, sorry, I'm hitting my table here, making it bumpy, but my wife and I are part of a homeschool soccer club. And I say my wife and I, my kids play. My wife and I are involved in volunteering, coaching. She's on the board. We do a lot of different things there, along with obviously several other people. So, but when we first moved to this club, we understood very quickly that it is a family. And of course, if you know anything about homeschool families, a lot of times they have a lot of kids. Like us, we have 7 kids. Good friends here that I do this channel with, Luke, they have 8 kids. But we understood very quickly that it is a family, and almost everyone there is there to help out in the whole club, I guess. So what I mean by that is saying my wife and I both coach, and there's times I'm coaching one of my kids, my wife's coaching one of my kids. We have 3 other kids that we have to get to practices, which are all at the same place. That's not a big deal. But there's 3 other kids trying to get to a practice, and then we have a couple other kids that are not involved in a practice right now. Or the youngest kids get done with practice in an hour, while the older kids, well, we may go an hour and a half or 2 hours for the oldest kids while we're all there. So a lot of times we're thinking, where's my kid? Where's my baby? Where's my kid that just got out of practice an hour before my practice is done and I'm coaching over here? But having this family as the club is a huge benefit, because our kids are always with someone else. In fact, just the other day, I show up to practice, and my wife and a couple of the younger kids stayed home. One of the younger kids wasn't feeling well, so my wife didn't go coach that day. She stayed home with the younger kids, and I went to coach. And another mom came up and said, she said, Claire, where's Claire? I said, well, she's at home because another kid wasn't feeling well, so my wife wasn't bringing her, so she didn't bring the 2 youngest as well. And she was almost disappointed because she didn't get to hang out. She didn't get to help out with my daughter while I coach her. Her 2 kids are on my team. So just the coaches and the whoever's volunteering in the club, people on the board, coaches, the moms helping out, whatever it is, doesn't get the whole picture of who is helping out, who is in this family, and who's building these relationships. We have the parents that don't actually officially volunteer for the club, who are always helping out the families that do volunteer for the club, like my wife and I coaching. We have other families that aren't coaching that are helping out just as much as they would if they were coaching. We have other families that, I know there's some health issues in our club. We have another family that brings their kids. The dad has some health issues. The mom is taking care of him a lot. Another family stops by and picks up those kids almost every single day for practice and games. They always have them. Why? Because they built that relationship. They're not focused just on money. They're not focused on other things. They're focused on, what can I do for this family to help this family out? And I tell you, that is a great feeling when we're a part of a club that way, when we're part of a small group that way, and outside of those 2, when we have other friends that are that way. It is an amazing feeling to have a support network around us that we can rely on, whether we're here or traveling, whatever it is, those people that we can rely on to help us out. So thanks for watching. If you found some benefit in this, please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this here at our channel, These 16 Things, and then our website, these16things.com. Our primary goal is to help parents teach kids life lessons, teach kids the real life skills so they can be ready to move out of the house when they get to that point. And building relationships is part of that. You want your kids to have a relationship with their friends that if you're not around, if something's going on with you, whatever, they can have friends that they can rely on to come in and step in to help out when they need it as well. So how are you helping friends out? How do you set up these networks? How do you find these friends to have these networks with? Is it church? Is it other groups, sports, whatever it is? Tell us in the comments how you find these friends, how you interact with them, how you guys set it up and support each other. So thanks for watching.